Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to do something a little different. Normally I do videos on how to repair things and how to do whatever. Today we're going to do some modifications. We're going to Americanize one of these smart cars. They're kind of a quirky car. They have a lot of unique things. I'm not saying quirky in a bad way, but they're just kind of different. And what we're going to do is we're going to Americanize it a little bit, make it more like what Americans like, whatever that is. I'm just using me as an example, but anyway, we're going to raise the front end 1 inch to level the car out, because these cars tend to be real low in the front end, which looks stupid. We're going to straighten the rear wheels out. They tend to have a lot of negative camber, so we're going to straighten those wheels out so they're nice and straight. We're going to put a heads-up display on it. I found one on Amazon, very inexpensive, and we're going to upgrade the wheels, the tires, and I'll kind of give you a quick how we do everything. And then at the end of this video, I'll show you how the car turned out. And then you be the judge if you think it's something you want to do to your car, or if this is something that, well, just doesn't seem to work for you. The modifications are very inexpensive. To raise the front end is no cost. To straighten out the rear wheels is maybe $2. And the heads-up display that I found on Amazon is right around 38 bucks. And it's a pretty nice piece. So let's get started. I don't want to do a big long intro and waste your time. So let's get going, and we'll start with the front end and work our way around the car. All right. Okay, in our process of Americanizing this car, one of the big problems with these cars is the front ends sit too low. If you ever see a smart car going down the road, it always looks like it's going downhill. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the front end up 1 inch. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that 1 inch makes a world of difference. The way the car sits when you drive it, everything gets better. This is a no-cost deal. We're not going to put anything in the springs or anything like that. We're going to do it what I think is the best way, cheapest way possible. This doesn't affect your alignment. Your toe won't change. Your caster won't change. You might get a little bit more camber, but it's even debatable. So, to get started with, what we're going to do is we're going to actually loosen remove this bolt and lower the knuckle down on this strut 1 inch. That's what we're going to do. Let's go walk to the other side real quick, and I'll show you what we got here. This side's already done, so you can kind of see where we ended up. I marked it right here. And then it went down 1 inch. Let me get a light so you can see it a little better. You can see where it used to be up here. We're going to put a mark on that other side. You'll see that when we start. And then you're going to drive this down. You have to unhook your sway bar, otherwise you're fighting the sway bar all the way. And then once you're down 1 inch, exactly 1 inch, we're going to drill a hole. This bolt will be out. We'll put a fresh hole through there, put the bolt back in, and you're done. Basically put it all back together. So let's go back to the other side and get going. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, take a little screwdriver. We're going to put a little mark right here. You can use a scratch awl or whatever it is, magic marker, but you want to be pretty accurate because this will change your ride height. And if you don't get both sides exactly the same, your car's going to sit crooked, and we sure don't want that. Okay, now we got it marked. Now the first thing we got to do is we got to take this little plastic piece off. That's right here. This is from the other side, but it's easier to show you how to take this off. There's a little tab right here. You go in with a screwdriver and you just pull this tab out a little bit, and it slides right out. Let me show you how it should come out. We'll see if I'm right or not. You just reach back here. And there it is. Slides right out, see? You just get in there, give that little tab. Otherwise you end up breaking this and then you won't be happy. So, now you got that off. Things are going good. This is for your anti-lock brakes. Next step is we're going to undo the sway bar. Now there's a little trick to that. You need a T30 and a 16 millimeter. wrench. First, loosen the nut with the wrench. Don't try and do it with this because you'll strip it out and then you're screwed. Okay, get that loose. Sometimes you can get it all the way off, but usually, yeah, see the stud's starting to spin. So put your ratchet on tighten. Put it right in that, like that. And just tighten with the ratchet until the nut comes off. Nothing too hard so far. Like I say, this doesn't cost you anything. This is a freebie. Okay, we got the nut off. And there's your sway bar link right there. We'll save those pieces because we're going to use those again. Now the next step is, I'm going to take the big long ratchet, and you need one of these sockets. I don't know, this is a, I don't know what they call these, but it's, this is the set. You get the whole set from Harbor Freight for like 10 bucks. So it's the second from the biggest one you need. And you're gonna go on here. We apply the righty-tighty, lefty-loosey rule. In this case, we're doing lefty-loosey. Okay, nothing too hard so far. I think you're gonna find this amazingly easy. There's the nut and the bolt right there. I'm going to save that because we're going to reuse this. Now, the fun part. What I do is I put this big old bar in here and just put a little downward pressure on it. While I got the downward pressure, you hit it. You can already see the mark right there, how it's already starting to move. We want to get 1 inch. Oops. Anyways, you see what's going on here. Want to hold that? Now you may have to put a little penetrating oil on it or something, because technically I'm cheating because I live here in Arizona and there's no such thing as rust or corrosion or anything. It's like working on a new car all the time. Yeah, I know. I used to live in Detroit. I know what salt does. A little bit more. It's like going to heaven when you leave a salt belt state and you come to Detroit or come to Lake Havasu, and these cars are amazing. They absolutely are amazing how everything just works. Haven't used my flame wrench. Haven't used my flame wrench in God knows how long. I've never had a bolt seize, stick. Here in. Okay, there we are. I think we're there. I think we're there. Let's take a good measurement. Yep, that looks like 1 inch, doesn't it? Looks like 1 inch to me. So there it is, 1 inch. Now, a 25/64 drill bit is what you need. Mwah. And now, you go right in, go from this side so you don't get near your brake line. Go right in the hole that's already there. This drill bit is not that sharp, so bear with me. We're going to drill a hole right through it. there. There we are. What we basically did is there's like a shark fin on the back side of this strut, and we just made a new hole. There's the old hole. You can see the old hole right there. The only thing you got to keep in mind though is you ever change your struts, you got to do this process again. So let me get a little bit of anti-seize for no reason at all, because there is no such thing as corrosion here. Put a little anti-seize on it, just because that's what we do in Detroit. And because if you live somewhere where there's salt, you know that if you're just happy if you can get the bolt loose. And if you ever do, you put a bunch of anti-seize on it, so if you ever got to go there again, you can. All right. Now, we stick the bolt back in just the way it was before, right here. Bolt goes back in. Nut goes back on. Oh, there it is. On the ground. Put our 16 on one side, put this guy on the other side. And the kind of cool thing about this is most people won't even notice that you raise the front end. They'll just look at it and go, your car looks cool. For some reason, it just looks better than the average guys. Get it good and tight. Okay, don't ask me what the torque spec is because I have no idea. Now we're going to reconnect our sway bar. And it goes this fast. I mean, I'm not like cutting the tape or anything. I'm just letting it run. You can do a side and, well, I mean, I've got a hoist, which really helps, which I highly recommend. Makes life much easier when you don't have to crawl on the ground like a worm. When it comes to tightening the sway bar, the final tightening, don't do it with the ratchet, do it with the wrench. So you don't strip out that little Torx. All right, now we just have one more thing to do and it's a done deal. Now you're gonna go to the other side, obviously, because I already did it, but you just gotta take a little tie strap. Let me get the tie strap. You can't reuse these plastic guys because you covered the slot where that would have went. So what we do is we come in here with a little tie strap. Right through there. Right on there. It doesn't have to be super tight, just snug. And that's it. Just to keep everything. Now we'll cut the tail off that tie strap. And it's a done deal. You too now Americanized your smart car a little bit more. When we're done, I will show you my car. I've done this mod on my car. It's been on there a couple months and it's been absolutely flawless. There's no noises or crazy things. It doesn't steer any different. It doesn't ride any different. These people that put these spacers and the springs and all that crap, or they push down on the top of the strut and shove everything down. This is just the easier way to do it. Like I say, you only get an inch. If you go more than an inch, you're gonna run out of shark fin on the bottom and then you're gonna have problems. But 1 inch works. And that's basically it. We're gonna put the sway bar back on the other side. The only reason we took the sway bar off is because you don't wanna fight the sway bar because it's like trying to push it up. So that's just makes it a lot easier. But that's it. We'll show you how to straighten out the rear wheels. That's going to be the next thing. For whatever reason, don't ask me why, but these Germans think that having wheels that sit like this, so you wear the inside of your tires out, is a good thing. I don't get it, okay? But I can show you how to straighten that out with a couple of washers, and then your rear wheels will sit nice and straight, the front end will sit up nice and proud, and you'll have like the coolest smart car in town. And everybody else will be wondering, what the hell did you do that I need to do? So I'll see you when I get to the backside, okay? Alrighty, bye-bye. All right, now we're gonna work on the rear wheels. One of the big problems with smart cars is the rear wheels sit with a lot of negative camber in the back. Now, they say that's great for handling and what have you, but hey, it's a smart car, okay? It just looks stupid. You wear the inside of your tires out, it looks like the car's always squatting. It just looks stupid. So we're going to straighten the rear wheels out so it looks like an American car. Again, part of my Americanization of the smart car. So in order to do that, it's quite simple. You need a couple of lock washers. You can get those at the hardware store. They got to be about 95 thousandths thick, roughly. It can be a little more, a little less, but right around 95 thousandths. And that's going to put your camber right where you want it, at 0, okay? Believe me, I did it 3 or 4 times to finally find out how thick the washer has to be. So I'm going to save you all the trouble of trying and experimenting and doing whatever. So 95 thousandths, give or take a couple thou, don't matter. We ain't doing main bearings here again. So these are the 4 bolts right here that hold the bearing hub in position. Now you can do this, I have the axle shaft out because I'm doing other stuff to the car, but the point is it's easier to show you what I'm doing with the axle shaft out of the way. Otherwise, you'll just be looking at the back of my hands trying to do something. So these are the 4. So you're going to take the top 2 out. I've already loosened them just to make it a little faster for video purposes. And yeah, I still live in Arizona. Look at that. Look how them bolts come right out. Is that incredible or what? I swear we just put in. So we take the top 2 out. Once you get the top 2 out, you just loosen the bottom ones. You don't have to take them all the way out. 3-4 turns, that's all you need. Now you can see how that just, we got a bunch of gap right there. That's where you're going to take and put your little washer in there. Did I get it? I missed. Need the magnet. But that's the idea, is to get that washer, get that little washer. Maybe I can do it with a magnet. Might be a better way. Look at that. Okay, there's one. Okay, we got another magnet, another washer. Again, these are just standard old lock washers. I just happen to have these laying around. I had a whole bunch of them, so. But you can see that goes in there. I think I missed it. Okay, got it out of there. All right, let's try it again. See, things don't always go perfect for me either. So you're gonna have to fight with it a little bit, but you're getting the idea of what we're trying to do here. Shine right in. Can you see what I'm doing there? Or hold that with this hand. So we're going to just put that in there. Drop it right in place. You see it going in there? There, got it. Now, when you tighten these, let me get an extension so it's not in the way. You can kind of see what's going on. Tighten the bottom ones first. Just snug them up. See that? Don't put the the real torque to it yet. Just want to take up the slack. Again, if you still have the axle shaft in the way, you're going to have to pull that shaft back and push it up to get the bottom ones and push it down to get the top ones. Now we get our top ones. We're going to snug those up. Now really the right way to do this would be to cut all this stuff and bend it and re-weld it and all that, but that's a lot of work. So you got them all snugged. Now tighten your bottom ones up. Tighten your other bottom one up. Good. Now tighten your top ones. Recheck your bottoms. And that's it. Now we got a shim behind that. It's between the plate and the arm and the control arm here, the suspension arm. So that's where our gap is. It's going to bring the top of the wheel out, and your wheels will be nice and straight. And it, I know somebody's going to say, "Oh my God, it's not going to handle as well, and it's going to do this and it's going to do that." Let me tell you what, it doesn't do a damn thing except look better. Okay, you're not going to wear the inside of your tires out like will happen when you got all that negative camber. So don't believe the naysayers. It works. It straightens the rear wheels out. It makes the car look normal. So between this and raising the front end, your car will look completely different. You will just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And like I say, you ain't tracking the car. And if you are tracking the car, you picked the wrong car to track. Okay, let's face it. This is not a race car. It's just a passenger car. And I'd much rather have tires that wear evenly and look normal than have these squatty, sitting negative, icky tires, okay? So next thing we're going to do after this is I'm going to show you what I did to the front end as far as wheels go. I got 4 rear wheels. So I have no front wheels. I just have rear wheel, or rims actually, because they're a little bit wider, 5.5s instead of 4.5s. And I put 195, 55 R15s on it. They were Kumos. I got them from Discount Tire. I put those all the way around so now I can rotate my tires when I want because they're all the same. It doesn't rub, it doesn't hit, it doesn't do anything on the front end. It's perfect and it makes the car look fantastic. So I guess the next thing we'll do is, the third thing is I've got a little bit of interior stuff that I want to show you that I did. And it makes the car just seem a lot nicer. And then I'll show you what the car ends up looking like. And then you be the judge, okay? I'm not telling you to do this or not to do this. This has never been tested, but I put 6,000 miles on my car. I drove it to Detroit and back. I had absolutely no problems with that, shimming those bearings out like that or lifting the front end an inch. So if that's your concern, it's not a concern. The car did fantastic. It never missed a beat. It was delightful to drive it all the way to Detroit from Lake Havasu. So anyways, I'll be back when I show you what I did on the inside, and then I'll show you the whole car, and we can go from there. But I gotta wait. Hopefully it'll cool down a little bit. It's been in the 115 degree range here in Havasu, so I'm gonna let you go for now because I'm gonna turn the air conditioner back on so I'm not dying here. All right, I'll see you at the next step of the Americanization of the smart car. Thank you. All right, the next thing about Americanizing this smart car is that Americans love gauges. And this car doesn't come with any gauges, doesn't come with a tack or anything. And I found a nice little heads-up display that you can buy at Amazon. If you're interested in this display, just go onto the Amazon website and punch in Smart Car HUD, and there'll be 3 or 4 of them that come up that look the same, but they're a little bit different. They're priced from $38 to $50, and the $50 one has a boost gauge and a bunch of other stuff that you're not going to use anyway because you don't have a turbo. So the $38 gauge seems to work good. So let me give you a rundown and show you what I got here. So I'm going to turn the key on. Let's see, I might have to start it. That's the heads-up unit right there. Now, there's a lot of different things you can do with it. I've got it set for just data, but you've got buttons to choose different things. So if you don't like that, you can go with any of these different settings. If you like to, you know, have a tack that revs. And these 2 buttons here adjust. I've got it set right now for altitude and time. So if I don't want altitude, I can do direction. I can do engine coolant temperature, which is a good one to have. I always use the engine coolant temperature. It also has an alarm, so you can set the alarm so that if it starts to get hot, it will let you know, so you don't have to watch the gauge. Then you can have RPM along with that. And then the other one, you can distance, voltage, how many GPS things, altitude. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You can play with it, but you got different styles. If you didn't, it's strictly what you like as far as tachometers go and what you want to monitor. You can do fuel, map sensor. I don't know. They get a book tells you what all these abbreviations mean, so I don't remember them off the top of my head. Now there's the air fuel ratio if you want that, and it just goes through. But having a tack, but the main thing is to have that water temperature. Now as far as mounting it goes, this was really simple. It comes with like a foot on the bottom and a suction cup. Well, don't peel the tape off. You don't want to glue onto the top of your dash, because if you ever want to change it or whatever, you'd be screwed. You'd probably tear this cloth up. But I used both of them. I used the suction cup and the foot. So I just used the foot to get it down, and then the suction cup to hold it in place. And that way, it just sits there. See, it doesn't move when you drive. It just sits there. And you can monitor what you got. It's not in your vision line of sight. It's pretty small. I mean, it's a very small tack, but it works extremely well. So that's kind of one of the cool things about having, I mean, do you need a tack? No. But you do want that water temperature, because I think when the light comes on here, that's really not a water overheat light. It's more of your engine's fried light. So you want to know something's wrong. So I set mine for 219, which isn't really overheating, but it's getting hot. And normally this car will run around 190, 195, somewhere in that neighborhood. And if it starts getting hot like that, I'm going to start asking questions like, am I going up hills? Am I like loading the car down? Is it super hot outside? Because here in Lake Havasu, 115 is not uncommon. So it'll run 205, 206 on those days. But if it runs super hot, I know to either shut the air off or to ease off on the throttle or figure out what's going on. Don't wait for it to boil over. And it also has a clock down here, but it's in military time. It's 10:30 right now, so it looks normal, but I don't know how to switch it from military time, a 24-hour clock, to a 12-hour, so it's like normal time. But there it is. That's another way to Americanize your car. And this thing's easy to install. The one I bought was like 38 bucks. It just routes over to the side, goes down, and you plug it into your OBD connector. And that's it. Once you plug it into your OBD connector, you're done. It's ready to go. So it couldn't be easier to hook up, couldn't be easier to install. Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to install it. So that's that part of it. So now let's go on the outside of the car. I'm gonna shut the video off for a second, get set up, and I'll show you what the car looks like now that it's been Americanized. And it looks like a normal car. So I'll be back as soon as I get this thing out in the sunshine where we can get some good video, and I'll show you what we ended up with. All right, see you in a minute. All right, here is the finished product. This is my smart car, and I'll tell you what, you can't make a smart car look better than that. It looks fantastic. I'm just going to do a walk around real quick first. You can see the front end is up 1 inch. I put 195 55 R15s. They're Kumo tires. I got them from Discount Tire. They were like $103 a piece or something. But that was a month ago, so it might be $150 now with all this inflation that we got. The rear bumper, it's cool as hell, but don't ask me where it came from as far as originally. I got it off a parts car and I put it on mine, and I really like it. It gives me a little more protection. You can't really see how straight the rear wheels are. If you look, they're not sitting negative. They're sitting straight up and down. The shadows make it kind of hard to see, but it's straight up and down. But it turned out fantastic. And by straightening those wheels out, it did not affect anything as far as performance or handling or stability or anything else. So this is your Americanized car. And with the big, I also changed the front rims to rear rims because they're wider and they do not rub, even with the 195s. Now, if you don't lift your front end, you probably want to go with the 175s. But this one, I'm going to put this in, you know, people always look at it and they're like, they can't pick out why they like this one more than the others, but look at that stance. Tell me that doesn't look cool as hell. Just the way it should have been built in the first place. The way Americans like them. Tires straight, car sitting level, not nose down. I didn't do anything to the rear as far as height goes. That's stock height. And it's a pretty neat little package. Runs good. The bigger tires doesn't seem to affect anything. And with the tach and the speedometer and everything seems to be good. So it's up to you. You know, you do what you think's right for you. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is how mine turned out. And I showed you how I did it with all the different changes. And hopefully you can make your smart car look this cool too. And then people will ask you, why does your smart car look so cool and mine doesn't? And this is why. These secret little things, straightening those rear wheels and lifting that front an inch, just totally changed the look of the car. Then adding the big tires, and you got nothing but coolness. Now, I don't know where, like I said, that back bumper, I have no idea where that came from. So there's no markings on it. There's nothing. So if anybody knows where you can get those bumpers, leave a comment and let me know, or let everybody else know where to get that, because it is a nice bumper. It's a 2 bumper, and it bolts right onto where the tow hooks go, and it turned out really good. So there you go, my friends. One Americanized smart car ready to take on the world. All right, talk to you later. Bye.